everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to talk a little bit more about the Eternals. Now, this video is really going to ask the question that a lot of people are going to ask, which is the Eternals a sign of is the sign of the end of the MCU, or all of these other videos people will make about the MCU's finally caught up to the MCU. What does this mean about the future of the MCU? What does, regardless, now let's just get this out of the way. I enjoyed Eternals. I ended up giving it like a 7.5 to an 8. Depending on which day you talk to me, it's an 8. Depending on the other day, it's a 7.5. I ended up enjoying the film. And me personally, I don't think it deserves the rotten score that it has. I don't think it deserves the low score that it has. But I'm gonna be something that I don't think that Zack Snyder fans and people and certain fans can't be, which is subjective about something, which is the fact of the matter that it is. See, that's the difference between me and the Snyder cult, and the Snyder cult and other fans who get upset about things like this is, I can accept what is, and the fact of the matter is, regardless of what I feel, regardless of what maybe some other of my people who subscribe to me feel, the fact of the matter is the movie's rotten. It's rotten. It didn't make the high point numbers at the box office. Now it made good money. It made $71 million at the box office. That's good money. That's a little bit below. That's a couple mil below Shang-Chi, and it's a 1 mil above the Fast and the Furious. So that's still good money. It made almost $200 million worldwide. So it's still good money. You know what I mean? The movie cost about $200 million to make. It almost made $200 million in its opening weekend. Theoretically, it's gonna need to make about $400 million, a little over $400 million to break even. So we'll see if it actually gets there. But it's a pandemic and it's weird right now. Like nobody thinks that this movie wouldn't have made more money if it wasn't a pandemic. So it's really hard to really judge numbers right now anyways. But I digress. The numbers aren't as great as they hoped it would be. Well, it's as good. The numbers are still good. It's just not as high. Marvel tends to overachieve, and this one just kind of like achieved. But I digress. This one's in the same ballpark like Ant-Man and the Wasp and like Ant-Man and whatnot. But like I said, I digress. The simple fact of it is, with the cinema score that's a B, a rotten score, audience score that while it's an 80, I don't even know if it's still an 80. It might be a 79 or something like that. But it's not like Shang-Chi. You know what I mean? It's not even like some other films, like where some other films have like 90-something audience score. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have a great cinema score. So plain and simple, all metrics, this is probably the worst received. This is definitely one of the worst received MCU movies. It is the worst received MCU film of all time. And with that being said, the vultures are gonna come out. There has always been a tangent, maybe not even a tangent, just a section of hardcore fans who hate the MCU, film critics and whatnot, just sections of people who have been chomping at the bit to attack the MCU to finally come at the MCU, because the MCU has been on this insane winning streak. Put it in perspective. The MCU has made almost 30 projects. If you include the TV shows, they have made almost 30 well-received projects in a row. If you include the TV shows. That's a lot. That is a lot. And even no matter what you feel about Iron Man 2, no matter what you feel about Thor, The Dark World, or some people I know don't really like Captain Marvel. I don't get it. I like Captain Marvel. I mean, maybe you guys didn't. I did. So whatever. But no matter what you thought about those films, all of those films were well received. All of them have fresh scores, and all of them made a lot of profit. This is the first time that all of those things aren't true. This is the first time ever that Marvel can't actually market a fresh meter on the marketing campaign. They've been able to do that since 2008. And this is the first time since 2008 they cannot do that. So, it just puts things in perspective. Like I said, it just puts things in perspective. So, of course, the vultures who've been sitting around, the go woke, go broke people who will conveniently ignore the success of Black Panther, the success of Captain Marvel, and other films in the same kind of vein. You know, those people will conveniently, you know, ignore those films to focus on this film because it wasn't as greatly received. And there's gonna, like I said, there's gonna be a lot of people talking about, is this the end of the MCU? Using this as an example of like the downfall of Marvel and whatnot. And the fact of the matter is, this is a topic that was broached a long time ago by a couple people, by a bunch of people. But particularly, one of my faves is Movie Bob. You guys might have heard of Movie Bob. I always forget his real name, but he has a little channel called Movie Bob. And I look at his videos from time to time, his reviews from time to time. And at one point in one of his videos, long time ago, it's like back when Infinity War came out. No, it was back when Civil War came out. He had kind of mentioned the idea that it won't actually, like, Marvel has had so much success. And that was 2016. You know, that Marvel has had so much success that even if they had a movie that was perceived bad, one movie, it really wouldn't do anything because all they would do is just take the pieces that work from that movie, either make a sequel that's way better, or just take the parts that work and you know, fix it into the MC and put it in, like, merge it into the MCU in a way that makes you appreciate that other movie. The same way they've done with Thor: The Dark World, with making Thor: The Dark World so more important with all these contexts and whatnot from like Endgame and Infinity War and other movies. And they're gonna just do that with Eternals. And it realized to me that it doesn't really matter how Eternals was received, because some people, Grace Randolph, I already gotta get some hate for that one already. I'm already gonna get some hate for that one. Are trying to compare it to the reaction to BVS, BVS in particular, because they're trying to say that, oh, well, if BVS was received so terribly that it was the turning point and it like ruined everything and ruined all the plans Zack Snyder wanted and ruined everything, then this might be the turning point for the MCU. This might be the downfall. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, sure, I might be with you. If this was like the second movie in the MCU, this is the fucking, what project is this? Like I said, if you count the show, I haven't really been keeping count. I know I could probably do it, but it would take me some time. If you count the shows, this is almost the 30th project, like actual MCU proper project. And like, so out of like over 24 projects later, you have one movie that would be considered bad. And that would completely, so everything that happened before, never mind the fact that Shang-Chi had just, see, that's the problem with the mere idea that somehow Eternals would be the downfall of the MCU, somehow Eternals is a huge indicator on what's gonna happen in all movies. No, because Shang-Chi just happened. If Eternals happened, let's say it came first before Black Widow and Shang-Chi, maybe I would be worried. You don't want that. You don't want the first MCU movie in the new phase, and the new book, you know, that they're writing to be a bomb. To be just like the first rotten film. But Black Widow came out the gates, it had made a lot of money, had an 80-something overall, had a solid 80, 79% on Rotten Tomatoes. And then Shang-Chi came out, blew the doors off the place, has a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, has a solid A cinema score, which is a great cinema score. It's just short of an A+, and it also has the highest audience score of any comic book film of all time. So, you know, that movie just happened. And those movies were filmed congruently. So it's not like this is like, no. The way to take this is, if people are worried to take this one didn't work the way it should have. That's okay. Because they have a track record of success. One movie isn't gonna just overnight erase all the goodwill that they have. It's not gonna erase the goodwill of WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Shang-Chi, Black Widow. It's not going to erase the Infinity Saga, you know what I mean? It's not going to erase all that goodwill. This one thing just didn't work. And I just really want to make this video because I can already hear the rumblings. I can already hear the smatter from people talking about is this the end? Maybe this is more to come. Ooh, Marvel might be slipping. And I'm just sitting there like, bro, man, that's so crazy. That's like watching Steph Curry shoot 105 threes in a row, and he misses one. He go, well, I don't know. I mean, he didn't make 106. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's like I said, the analogy I said before in another video. It's like fucking going unbeaten. It's like going 15 and, well, I guess it'd be 16 and 1 now, but whatever. Before 15 and 1 a season, and you lose the last game, and you still make it to the playoffs with the best record. It's just like, yeah, we lost the last game. We didn't give a fuck. Okay, like, oh, one game is like that's like one loss that we had that didn't even, you know, really? Now everything is done? Like I said, people are jonesing. They are jonesing. Make no mistake about it, people. People are jonesing for the downfall of the MCU because everyone wants to be the one to tell you, I told you so. I'm telling you right now, if the MCU ever does, which I highly doubt it, as long as they have Kevin Feige, the MCU is going to be fine. But if the MCU ever did crash and burn, I'm talking like, you know, like real bad, crash and burn, like bad. People want to be the ones to say, I saw this coming. People want to be the ones to say, I saw it coming. People want to be the ones to say, I knew this was going to happen. They deserved what happened to them. I knew that was going to happen. And they want to be the one to be able to say that. And that's just how it is. People want that opportunity. They want to be able to say that about the MCU. It is long, but this ain't it. This ain't it. Now, I agree with some, now, if fucking, well, not even Spider-Man, so we have to wait, because Spider-Man's a joint thing with Sony and them. I mean, you can still judge it, but it's a joint thing, so we really can't judge it. But if fucking Thor Love and Thunder comes out, or Doctor Strange come out, and they're both awful, then we can start having a conversation about, ooh, I don't know. But one movie isn't that big of a deal. One movie doesn't undo all the years, the decade plus of goodwill. One movie doesn't undo the fact that Shang-Chi just happened like a month ago. It's about to come out on Disney Plus at the end of the week. So, in short, does the reaction, the negative reaction to Eternals, even, oh God, I'm sorry, Eternals comparing to that garbage, but does the negative reaction to Eternals actually affect the MCU? The answer to that question is no. MCU's fine, the Eternals are fine. Now, the Eternals themselves, I don't know, but the MCU itself is fine. They're gonna just push forward, they're gonna just take their lumps, they're gonna do what they always do. They're gonna just be like, okay, well, it didn't work. Well, the more you know. Alright, we'll just keep on going forward. We'll come back to it later and, you know, we'll fix it. But for now, we'll just keep pushing forward like they always do. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please like, subscribe. And how do you think, is this a big deal to the MCU that this is their first ride movie? Is this the end? Is the end nigh for the MCU? Is the good times done because people didn't like Eternals? Or are you like me, which is just like, well, you win some, you lose some. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please like, subscribe. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.